Hi guys, fourth time lucky. I'm just getting fed up and tired. Right, so remember yesterday I said I was going to do a comparison video, just a quick one between Complan, which is that one, and Ensure, which is that one. I don't think there's much left. I'm going to do that. So straight away I could tell my husband brought them both upstairs which was which. He didn't tell me. Although this has been stirred like 3 times and, you know, I've had to spoon it out with a fork a couple of times. I would say this one is, the texture and the taste is, for me, the worst. I'll explain a bit more in a minute. That one, the texture, you can even see, looking at it, which looks better and which looks more grainy. It is more grainy. It is more powdery. It's just on my chair, guys. So yeah, you can see some powder there. That's because I've been drinking it and my husband stirred it. So you're going to get a bit of powder with both, but look at that compared to this, and that's been stirred like 3 times and spooned out twice, so it just doesn't settle. Imagine the texture. I'm going to explain. Imagine when you get a cheap hot chocolate, and this is a flavour as well, not just a texture, guys. Imagine when it's watery and cheap, but imagine it's now a hot chocolate where you know that it's not like milkshake. You know, if you make the hot chocolate and it's cold, if you don't use like milk, either way, whatever liquid you use, however you heat it, you've used like a cold liquid and not heated the hot chocolate up. Now that's not the same as milkshake, is it? Because you know, guys, if you made yourself hot chocolate, the powder only dissolves when it's heated. So imagine you didn't bother, and you know the powder, when it settles on the top and you get like all the flavour and powder there, but nothing on the actual, well, in the liquid, it's all on the top of it. So that's what this is like. It doesn't matter how many times it's stirred, this is the best you get. It's very grainy, it's very powdery. It tastes that way as well. Now the flavour is like I've just described, a very watery sweet flavour that you would get if someone made you a hot chocolate and added like a spoonful of sugar of it. It's not quite as sweet as that, but not far off. It's very similar, and it's quite watery. I know my husband didn't put a lot of this in today, but it's watery compared to Ensure anyway. It doesn't taste creamy at all. It doesn't even taste milky. It's just as I described, so it's not a favourite for me. It's also, if you like your watery cheap hot chocolates with like a spoonful of sugar in, that's fine. Obviously it doesn't taste milky, but obviously it's similar to that. You know, it's not exactly the same, but very, very similar. So I'm not so keen on it there, and you don't get much flavour. It's quite bland, so it is watery and very sweet, more than milky and creamy, whereas this is thicker. It tastes... This, I'll say in comparison, is mixes straight away. My husband will just give it a quick stir. It mixes and it blends. What happens with this is, when you make this, I'll say the texture and flavour is like sort of if you've used whole milk with like a milkshake and maybe added like a couple of spoonfuls of cream. It's not very creamy, I'm going to admit. It doesn't taste like cream, but again, it's very similar. It's very creamy compared to the Complan. So basically you've got that texture and flavour, if that's what you're going for. It's also sweet like Complan, but not quite as sugary, you know. So the vanilla one is, you don't get the banana one, but the vanilla one and the strawberry one I haven't tried yet. I'm yet to try that one. So you only get those in the tins, but let's go. So I'm going to taste them, but I'm going to explain a little bit maybe in a second video afterwards, but I'll be repeating, you know, what I think of them and stuff like that. So I'll be repeating a lot of what I said in the video I made yesterday, and sorry, bear with me. I've not been feeling well. I'm not particularly ill. I've just got normal illness that's been going around the family, and I've had some bread and I'm not doing very well. I can only tolerate that for a time, so bear with me. It's the worst time to do this video, isn't it? When your stomach, you feel like you've been punched in the stomach, you're going to throw up. I didn't have any more bread. So it does look like it's that, so it's settled down a bit. But anyway, it's still a little bit delicate, but enough for me to have like a sip of these drinks, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with the Ensure first. I prefer that for me. So here we go. I'm drinking it from here because it was quite sticky at that side. I love this stuff. There isn't much left. This might also be affecting my stomach a little bit because, like I said, it's not been so brilliant. So that isn't powdery. And that doesn't taste powdery at all. Creamy, slightly sweet. Not too creamy, like I said. Very nice texture. Not powdery at all. Next is a Complan. And I will not just compare them in textures and flavours. and the way they mix. So I'm going to compare them, repeating what I said yesterday, and tell you what my preference. Well, I think you can tell I've already said really, haven't I? I suppose I've given it away. My preference is Ensure for cheapness and for, well, all of it really, and variety. But yeah, this is that. So with this, I've had to get a fork because I might have to do it again. It's just so watery. It's just so sweet and watery, and I might have to get a... Sorry guys, I didn't mean to pause that a little bit too early, but I might have to get a fork to get it out of here. So let's see. I don't think my husband has put a lot in though, has he really? Yeah, let's try and get the bits off the top. So let's pause it. Here we go, guys. Sorry if I disappeared for a second. I'm back. So let's see if I can get some out. I mean, there isn't really much left because I've had to spoon it out and he didn't put a lot in. So there's not really... See, when I spooned it out before, you can see a lump there, look. It was covered in lumps. It's awful. I'm not into Complan. Well, let's pause it and I'll go into my purse. So I do like the banana Complan and I'm not completely against it. But, you know, if my husband had made it better, it'd be a little bit more yummy. But I'm going to be honest, I am not into it. Like, I don't think he's ever read the instructions properly, because I only found out yesterday when I did my video that you've got 2 hours to drink it once it's made up. You get 24 hours with Ensure. You know, like I said, I'm repeating myself. I did mention this yesterday. If the ingredients are basically the same, not all of them, but most of them. So I think it's just stabilising colours. So unless there's any reason why they would go off in, well, not long after you've made it, almost 2 hours is quite quick after you've made it, then I don't understand it. See, not everybody can drink a full sachet. They're big sachets, but you only get 4 in a pack. They are more expensive. I haven't seen any offers on them. Ensure, I've seen quite a few offers and they are cheaper. You do get, like I said earlier, the extra banana flavour with the Complan, which you don't get, but you get all the, with the Ensure, but you do get all the other flavours, which is strawberry, vanilla and chocolate with Ensure, and you get it with Complan, so you do get them both together with both makes. But I'm going to be honest, guys, apart from the fact you get banana, it's very sweet. That's the only positive I'd say for Complan. That's my favourite one. I haven't tried strawberry with either yet. Well, I tried years ago with Complan. I can't remember. It was nearly a decade ago. But anyway, let's be honest. I mean, is it any accident that, you know, it's advertised by the NHS? And yes, it is. In 10 to 11 years of being like this, healthcare professionals are constantly trying to get me on Complan. Oh, they have put me on Complan. Even when I've told them I'm not good with it, I can tolerate it for the shortest amount of time. Not the case with Ensure, by the way. I'm not just trying to advertise it. I've found that out to be my experience, which is why well, obviously that's the main reason why it's better for me and I prefer it. But it is better on the purse strings, especially with the offers that they have. And, you know, it's great. So I like the texture. I like the way it mixes. I like the flavour. Perfect for me. And it's cheaper. You get more of it as well, like 2 hours after you've made it. And like I said a few minutes ago, not everybody, remember, can drink the full sachet. They're not small sachets, but they must assume that you're going to panic and drink it anyway. So basically with the Ensure, you don't get bottles either. You don't get tins with Complan. You don't get bottles with Complan. You just get the full sachets unless you buy a bundle. You know, you buy more packets. I think that's the most you can have in a packet. I'm not sure. So either way, just get sachets. But you can have like smaller tins with Ensure of 350 milligrams or bigger tins of 800, if I've read it right. I'm sure I've read 800. And they obviously cost more, as you'd expect. But you can get the ready-made bottles as well of Ensure. So that's really convenient. You just grab it in your local Superdrug Boots, or you can get it online, wherever, Amazon, whatever, and you just go. It's easy just to grab one out and about though, isn't it? So you can't do that with Complan. I just find it so expensive, and they don't tell you, they don't stipulate in any way, you know, there's no clarification how long you can keep a sachet if you can't drink it all at once and it's open. Yet 3 weeks. Once that tin is open with Ensure, they tell you you've got 3 weeks. Now I've pushed it a few days past that because I can't always manage it. Although I can manage it way better than the Complan, there are times when I can't even tolerate Ensure for a short time. It's never been for a length of time. I'm very lucky so far. My body's like that. But I've always been all right, but they do only say 3 weeks. So if you want to follow the guidelines to the exact, go for 3 weeks. So that's it. When it's open, you've got 3 weeks with Ensure. And you've got 24 hours once you've made it up either you've had the bottle or you've made it up yourself with Ensure. So it doesn't matter whether it's ready-made already or you've done it once